I talk about the 4 R's of education. And I used to ask people, what do you think the 4 R's were? And they would name like 50 R's, and I never even thought of, so I'm not going to do that. And the biggest one they usually think of is reflection, which is obviously a key thing with our job. I live about 40 minutes from my school, and I love that because every day I have an hour and 20 minutes total to think about that day, to prepare for that day on the way in, and to think about what I did on the way home. But the 4 R's I usually focus on are rigor, relevance, relationship, and results. Rigor, relevance, relationships, and results. You can't get the last one until you've done all of the first 3. Rigor. Don't dumb it down. Don't bring it down to the level. Break it apart into individual parts that they need to be able to wrap their brain around a linear equation or whatever content you are. Break it apart, but don't dumb it down. High standards. High standards. You have to have high. You got this I-STEP test. We've got Core 40 in our state. Those are tough tests. Core 40 especially. Okay? For you high school people, you're going to be tired of teaching high school when we're going from an I-STEP test, which used to be about 30% algebra, to a Core 40 test, which is now 100% algebra. Good luck, Indiana. But I love that it's a high standard. We can meet it. Don't think it's not possible. We can meet it. It's just going to be a little bit more work for us. And the way to get there is the relevance. You have to connect it to their life. You know I got that question all the time. Mr. Kuznik, how am I going to use this in the real world? I'm not going to use 2x plus 4 equals 10 in the real world. I know that. In that way, you're not. But it's developing your brain. It's making you learn how to problem solve. All that part of it you're going to use in the real world. You've got to connect to the student. Don't give them the baloney answer of, well, you might be on Jeopardy someday and you'll win you $1 million. Don't do that. Okay? Connect it to their life. Connect it to their life. And again, you're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to believe you for a second if you haven't built that relationship with them. You'll spend those first few days in your class building that relationship with them. Day 1 is when you have to earn their respect. Day 1. I unlike a lot of teachers, hated the first couple weeks of school. Most teachers look forward to that first day of school. They get all giddy. They can't sleep the night before. Not me. I hated it because I had to be kind of mean the first couple weeks. So I had to establish that tone. I had to be firm. And then once they knew I meant business, and we built that relationship that they're going to learn in my class, they're not going to goof off. We're going to have fun when necessary so we can learn our content. But we're going to focus. Once I was able to do that, I could really be myself as a teacher. So that's why I didn't look forward to it. One thing I did at Pike was develop a mentor program where we helped middle school students transition to high school. How many of you had an orientation day when you went to high school? Probably had it here at Taylor. Did one college do probably? Yeah. Okay, at high school, gives you one day. Maybe a meeting like this where some boring guy came in front of you like I'm doing right now and talks to you. Maybe you get your schedule, your locker combination, and they say, okay, we'll see you on Monday for school. Okay? Not very effective. Not very effective. So I turned our orientation day into an orientation year. Your whole freshman year is an orientation to high school. Your whole freshman year of college is probably an orientation to college. And that can be used when you're in middle school. You teach 6th through 8th grade in middle school. That 6th grade year is an orientation to that building. If you're in an intermediate school, we have a lot of those growing now, 4th, 5th grade buildings. Just realize whatever grade level you're at, remember that those kids need that transition. It's a big jump from whatever school they're going to the next one. I've got 6th graders in my building right now that are this short. I swear are kindergarten. I don't know how they're in 6th grade, but it's tough for them. They just went from being in the same classroom with the teacher all day long to now having 7 different teachers. That's tough. The transitions are tough for them. But you build those relationships with them, you're able to connect to them.